What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. You check out the content. And Isiah Thomas, man, every time Isiah Thomas go on to any podcast or any platform, and he talk basketball. He always found a way to throw jabs at Michael Jordan, right? And I can understand that Isiah Thomas was upset about the fact that Michael Jordan may have played a hand or played a part in him not going to the being on that dream team, right? That was historical, right? And everybody thought back in the day that Isiah Thomas, one of the greatest basketball players, to have played in the NBA, deserved to be on that team. But that was, 92, that was 30, what, 32, 33 years ago, right? And if you holding on to grudges for that long and you're so public about it, it has to be eating you up inside. I'm thinking it's to the point where it's even affecting Isiah Thomas's his physical health, right? And not his mental and his physical health, because he just, like I said, every time he get an opportunity to go at Michael Jordan, he go, he capitalize on it, he take it. So recently, Isiah spoke to he was on a running back podcast, right? And he brought up an issue. This time it was about the flu game that that famous flu game that Michael Jordan had. Now, I have to admit, when it came to that flu game, to me, I mean, I just thought it was dramatics. You know what I mean? I thought it was heroic for Mike to play when he had the flu, but even if it was like what Isiah say, it was just dramatic. It's just a myth, right? Michael Jordan just did so many other things throughout his career that, like, why not just give Mike the benefit of the doubt? If you think Mike really wasn't sick, like how can Isiah say that Mike really wasn't sick? He don't know. He can't prove that Mike wasn't sick. So, and why would Mike fake being sick? So that's why, I never really paid too much attention to that flu game, right? But the article says Isiah Thomas challenges NBC over Michael Jordan's flu game myth, right? NBA Hall of Famer Isiah Thomas recently took aim at NBC's use of Michael Jordan in the NBC in the NBA NBC coverage, specifically targeting the long-held flu game narrative from Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals. Right? I don't know. Like, I watched those finals in 1997, and it was dramatic. I mean, it was good theater. You know, I didn't have a problem with it. I don't know if Mike was sick or Mike wasn't sick, but that flu game, in my opinion, and I'm guessing a whole lot of people's opinion, that flu game was not like the highlight of Mike's career. Like, Mike just had so many great moments that I don't know why Isiah Thomas even he's even hung up on this. So the article goes on to say, during an appearance on FanDuel's TV Run It Back, Thomas said he was fine with bringing in NBA legends to celebrate the game's history, but only if they were 100% honest. He criticized Jordan for using the platform to promote this BS and keeping the very mythical story alive, even though Jordan did not actually have the flu, right? So I don't know how he know Jordan didn't have a flu. Number one, Michael Jordan don't even talk about this flu game. I don't know. Mike's so bad that all Mike really got to do is show up. He don't have to really promote himself. Like, Mike's work speak for itself. And the same thing for Isiah Thomas, right? Isiah Thomas should just allow people to give him his flowers. Isiah Thomas was a bad man when he played basketball. And so for him to continuously go at Mike, it's just not a good look. Let me see. His comments, excuse me. His comments, let me see, come amid Jordan's limited role this season on NBC which featured a single long-form interview split into short segments. Right, Thomas didn't object to the format itself, but he felt the network was giving Jordan a chance to fuel his own mythology rather than present facts. Right, factual embellishment on the story. And let me say this about facts and embellishment. Right, Isaiah, people probably would do the same thing or do the same thing for Isaiah Thomas. Like you kind of embellish about somebody who was, your favorite basketball player, and a lot of people like Isaiah Thomas, right? And sometimes when people telling stories about Isaiah Thomas, maybe they do embellish, not because they're trying to, because they really like and love and appreciate what Isaiah brought to the table. So when they telling a story about Isaiah, they just telling it from their perspective. They're trying to get they're trying to get the response from the story that they want. So they're going to embellish a little bit. Maybe Mike, and I'm not even gonna say it was Mike who embellished, but maybe people who pump up Michael Jordan, maybe they do embellish a little bit. But it comes with all legends, right? Like people embellish about Magic, people embellish about Bird, they embellish about Shaq and Kobe. But because you embellish a little bit, right, or you exaggerate a certain story a little bit, that don't mean that those guys weren't great basketball players and that those guys, like it can't take away from what they did on the court. Right. And so that's why I think that Isaiah Thomas should really give it up when it comes to this Michael Jordan thing. Just go ahead and allow the fans of Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons to appreciate him. And like the Pistons right now, in my opinion, this young team that they have, I think that they are really good with what's the guy, Cade Cunningham and the Thomas guy and what's the Duran, Jalen Duran and all those guys. They're really good. And who knows, maybe like within the next few years, they'll be in a championship. Just imagine if they're playing in a championship and all of those old school Knicks games, all Pistons players want to come to the game like they did for the Knicks. Hopefully Isaiah Thomas will be around, man. It can't be healthy for him to be holding on to hate for this long. It just can't be healthy, man. And not to really be I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but when you look at pictures of Isaiah Thomas now, you could tell that he's having some type of health issue, right? So, but let me finish this article right here. It says, in short, Thomas' stance is that while Jordan's 38-point game-winning performance in 1997 was heroic, the fluke part of the story is a myth, right? All right, so Jordan scored 38 points in that game. Like, why you have to make up something on top of scoring 38 points? Did Mike, when that game was at the end and the Bulls had won that game, and I seen Mike hugging Scotty and like Scotty was helping off the court, I thought that was a little bit, dramatic. But it is what it is. All right, let me see this. And that NBC should be more fact-based in its coverage of past NBA legends. Like I said, man, everybody gets embellished about, and so, but the only problem, he only have a problem when you embellish about Michael Jordan. Let me see what this article says. All right, so I just wanted to see Isaiah Thomas accuses NBA on NBC coverage of Michael Jordan, the myth, very mythical, right? And so I just pulled up this picture right here because if you look at Isaiah, like around his eyes and stuff right there, it looked like I don't know, he might be having some type of thyroid type issue. And so, like I said, hopefully by the time the Detroit Pistons, this young team with Cade Cunningham and all those guys, man, Isaiah will be around to, people really going to want to give Isaiah Thomas his flowers for what he did with the bad boy Pistons. Then you got the other Pistons who with Chauncey Billups and who else was on that team? Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, all those guys, man, Tayshaun Prince. Those guys going to come back just like the Knicks did, you know, and celebrate this new team, man, when they had some, you know, they make it to the championship. So I would love for Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, and Bill Laimbeer, all those guys to be there the next time the Pistons make it to the championship, man. So Isaiah got to let this go, though. He definitely have to let this go about Jordan. If you don't like Jordan, you know, that's cool. Can't nobody deny that the Pistons used to whip, you know, they used to beat Mike. They had more success against Mike, you know, in big games than anybody. You know, and the reason why Mike is a big part of that is because of the Pistons, man, how they, you know, Mike had to be tough, you know, or either lay down to the, you know, and Mike wasn't going to do that. So the Pistons helped to make Mike. And so Isaiah should take pride in that. That's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.